It was a night that would go down in history. A late-night talk show known for its controversial and often confrontational interviews was about to host one of the most polarizing figures in America, Melania Trump. The former First Lady, known for her grace, poise, and quiet strength, had agreed to sit down with the show's infamous host, the provocative and sharp-tongued Gregory Lewis. For weeks, rumors had been swirling that their conversation would be nothing short of explosive. Lewis, famous for pushing his guests into uncomfortable corners, had been itching for an opportunity to challenge Melania, to provoke a reaction that would make headlines. What no one could have predicted, however, was the stunning response that would leave America in shock, and Gregory Lewis in absolute silence. The stage was set. The brightly lit studio was filled with eager fans, the cameras flashing, and the audience buzzing with anticipation. Melania Trump entered the set with her signature calm elegance. Clad in a sleek, white dress, her hair perfectly styled, she walked toward the host's desk, a picture of grace under pressure. Gregory Lewis, never one to hide his opinions, greeted her with a sharp grin and a few well-rehearsed pleasantries. But behind the smile was the razor-sharp edge of a man determined to make Melania squirm. "Mrs. Trump," he began, his voice dripping with sarcasm, "I must say, it's an honor to have you here. Many are curious though, what's it like to be married to a man who is so divisive, so controversial? How do you deal with the constant media storm surrounding him? Does it ever make you feel like you're living in his shadow?" The question landed like a punch, but Melania did not flinch. The audience waited in breathless silence, all eyes on her. The former First Lady simply smiled, her expression calm, her posture unwavering. "Well, Gregory," she began, her voice steady, each word carefully chosen. "It's an interesting question, I'll give you that. I've never been one to focus on what others think of my husband or me. I focus on what matters: family, loyalty, and love. I don't allow the noise to affect my life. I've never needed to live in anyone's shadow, and frankly, neither does my husband. We both create our own paths." The host, undeterred, leaned forward, eager to press harder. "But surely, there must be moments when you question the path you've chosen. The constant backlash, the public scrutiny. Isn't it exhausting? Do you ever wonder if you've made the right decision?" Melania's eyes flickered slightly, but her smile never wavered. "Gregory, the right decision was always about standing by my beliefs, my family, and my own truth. I never made decisions based on public opinion. I've always believed that strength comes from within. You don't need validation from others to know what is right for you." Gregory's eyes narrowed as he sensed an opportunity. "It's admirable, but how can you ignore all the negative press, the criticism? How do you handle the constant attacks on your husband? People say you're complicit, that you've turned a blind eye to the chaos he's caused." The crowd tensed, some sensing that this was the point where things could spiral. Melania, however, remained as poised as ever. She leaned slightly forward, her gaze intense. "Complicit," she repeated softly. "You use that word as though it means something. Gregory, I've lived a life that is not defined by others. I have always stood by my family, my values, and my commitment to a better future. If people choose to criticize, that's their choice. I've chosen to live my life with dignity and integrity. I won't apologize for that." The words hung in the air, and the silence that followed felt thick and charged. Gregory opened his mouth as if to respond, but his usual quick wit seemed to falter. Melania's calmness had completely shifted the tone of the conversation. But then Gregory, ever the provocateur, found his footing again. "So, you're saying you're immune to the pressure? That this all just rolls off your back?" "I'm saying," Melania replied coolly, her voice unwavering, "that I've faced far greater challenges in my life than what the media or public opinion has thrown my way. I didn't come here to be questioned or dissected. I came here to speak my truth, and if you can't respect that, then we have nothing more to discuss." The studio was now in an awkward tension. The talk show host, known for his ability to control the room, had been utterly outmatched. The audience could feel the shift in power. What was supposed to be a fiery clash between a famous political figure and an edgy talk show host had turned into an undeniable moment of Melania asserting control and composure. Gregory hesitated, his usual smug demeanor faltering. "I see," he said, his voice softer now. "Well, I must say, Mrs. Trump, you certainly know how to command the room. But there's one last question I have for you." Melania nodded. "Go ahead. You've been quiet on many issues in the past. Do you think you've been misunderstood by the public?" Gregory asked, his tone changing, a flicker of curiosity in his voice. Melania's response was immediate and direct. "I've never been misunderstood. People will always interpret things the way they want. What matters is that I've always stayed true to who I am. What others think of me isn't my burden to carry." The conversation ended there, the weight of her words lingering long after the camera stopped rolling. Gregory, once the bold and brash host, was left with nothing more to say. The climax of the night was palpable. The host, used to breaking down his guests with pointed questions, had been rendered speechless. Melania's strength, calmness, and unwavering resolve had left him stunned. The audience, who had expected drama and conflict, now found themselves in awe of her quiet confidence. But there was one more twist. As the lights dimmed and the show drew to a close, the host, now visibly uncomfortable, attempted to regain his footing. "Mrs. Trump," Gregory said, trying to reclaim control of the moment, "I think we can all agree, this interview will be one to remember." Melania, standing up to leave, turned to him with a final, knowing smile. "I hope you do, Gregory. But I'm not here for your memory. I'm here for mine." Her words were simple, but they struck like a thunderbolt. She left the set with the same composed grace she had arrived with, leaving a stunned audience and a speechless host in her wake. The aftermath of that interview was one for the history books. Gregory Lewis, known for his sharp tongue, had been outclassed in the most unexpected way. America was left in shock, not because of the confrontation they had anticipated, but because of the poise and strength Melania Trump had demonstrated. In a world where sensationalism often rules the day, her response was a quiet, powerful reminder that true strength lies in knowing who you are and staying true to your values. The nation watched, reflecting on the true essence of grace under pressure. Melania Trump had not only held her own but had turned the tables in a way that no one expected. It wasn't just an interview, it was a masterclass in composure, integrity, and the power of silence. For Gregory Lewis, it was a humbling moment. He had met a force far greater than anything he had encountered before, a force that was unshakable, unyielding, and not to be provoked. And for America, it was a reminder that sometimes, the loudest voice is the one that says nothing at all.